Everyone wants to be successful in life. I also want to live a life with no regrets. However, most people say that they have lived a life full of regrets. Why is the book The Grammar of Success? The author of this book has been active in the New York Times and more as a host of the most influential talk show for 23 years, wrote this book for himself to share with his beloved sons and daughters what he has learned in life. Today, based on this book, I will tell you 6 stories of successful fathers telling their sons and daughters how to live a successful life, as if a real father would tell their children. 1. Always remember that someone is watching you. Remember that there are eyes everywhere in the world. Be extra careful when accessing your blog, Facebook, or Instagram. Posted over the weekend drinking like a drunkard and stretched out, maybe future employers saw it. If you post a picture of yourself or make a ranking of the ugliest people, criminals or neighbors may see it. Especially on internet sites, you never know who you're dealing with. To do this when you don't know what is moral is to imagine what the newspaper might say to you after making a decision. If you feel embarrassed, just stop what you're doing right now. What was so much fun at the time will look different when it becomes a reality. Today, thanks to amazing science and technology, data remains permanent. Every time you do something, even if it's not you alone, ask yourself how you would act if the whole world was watching you. You just have to act accordingly. 2. Don't talk about your dream while neglecting this process. To make a dream come true, it is a law that can only be realized when all efforts for talent education are supported. However, compared to the past, there are more and more people who think that they can achieve their dreams if they just dream without effort. People who talk about dreams are very common. However, only a few people achieve their dreams. Why? It is true that you have to dream big. But the ultimate success is because unless you work hard, learn and persevere, you will never achieve it. The great Spanish violinist refuted the saying that it was his genius to survive. I've been practicing 14 hours a day for the past 37 years, but people don't even think about it and call me a genius too easily. I wasn't a genius. It is just that the process has been faithfully followed and carried out consistently. Dream of success and put the effort and passion that is worthy of it. Remember, nothing is free in this world. Real effort never betrays. If you make the actions necessary to achieve your dream into a habit and practice that habit, your dream will come closer to you. Your dreams depend on how you go through the process. 3. Always keep in mind that real life is never long. Steve Jobs of Apple, who radically changed history and even changed the way we live, once said, "The thought of dying soon helped me the most when making important choices in life. No one wants to die, but death is also the final destination we're all on. And remembering that we're going to die one day avoids the trap of thinking we've got something to do. Life is never long and we're all on our way to death, so there's nothing to get there. And no reason not to follow our heart. Our time is limited." So, don't waste your time living someone else's life. Life is about finding answers to life's problems and fulfilling your responsibilities, while fulfilling the tasks that are constantly given to each individual. So, don't use the word that you did your best. Best is the only word you can use when your efforts inspire you. Always keep in mind that life is never long and do your best for your real life. When you are lazy in body and mind, always remember these words. Life is really short. The grammar of success is what a successful father loves. This is a life guide that helps sons and daughters to live in a real world. In particular, it contains content to help you face the world as a mature adult and lead a more successful social life. 4. Please don't blame others. It's the easiest thing in the world to say don't blame others. No one is as foolish as someone who blames McDonald's for being fat and cigarette advertisements for smoking cigarettes. What do you think the outcome would have been? The judge sued and declared that no one was forcing a McDonald's hamburger and pointed out that it is not the law's job to prevent binge eating. It shows how foolish it is to blame. You are responsible for everything you do. It is up to you to live a successful life or a failure in life. Keep this in mind and you will live a life you will not regret. 5. The joy of success always comes after the sorrow of failure. There is competition in life and there are winners and losers. Some get a job, some become unemployed, some get promoted, and some stay in place. There is a pitfall in saying that everyone is a winner and everyone deserves a prize. To say that everyone has talent goes with saying that no one has talent. If you put everyone on the honors list, the list becomes invalid. The joy of success always comes after the sorrow of failure. But what if you can't learn to fail? Legendary professional football coach Vince Lombardi once said, "The greatest achievements are not when you have never fallen, but when you fall and get back up." If you don't differentiate between success and failure, you don't have to go through the harshness of defeat. However, the motivation to achieve victory and the joy that comes after victory will not be experienced. But cultivation does not necessarily end life. Rather, it becomes an independent grant. Trophy should be put in the hand of the winner. I hope you can bear the failure of today for the joy of that moment. In other words, the grammar of success is the key to successfully living a rough life. 6. Don't be afraid to talk about money. There is a saying that talking about money is an ignorant attitude, but then you won't be able to talk to anyone about money. It's getting farther away from money. You don't have to be very professional, but if you don't know enough finance vocabulary, you won't have any money experience. If you keep your mouth shut all the time because you lack financial knowledge or know nothing about money, your chances of getting rich are getting smaller. So don't be afraid to talk about money. It's also a good idea to read a basic economics book for beginners who can understand the basic principles of money and organize your thoughts while watching finance-related or YouTube programs. World-class investor Warren Buffett said, "You must have knowledge of how to operate a business, passion for business terminology goals, and a wit. If you want to be a money-wise person, then you will get closer to money. You will have more chances to succeed." So far, I've told you 6 stories you need to live your life. It's a bit disappointing to end the story like this. Lastly, I want to tell you one more thing that is essential to live a successful life without regrets. That is, you should never seek perfection in life. It may sound strange that we shouldn't seek perfection. There is one thing we are wrong about. We always seek perfection. But the life to be imitated the most is not to never fail, but to stand up quietly and vigorously every time you fail. No matter how difficult it is, there is always a solution. Where there is a shadow, there is always a bright light. If you focus only on success and leave the lacking areas that require effort, you will never be competent. Failure is essential for growth and greater success. Through failure, you learn more and realize more. And in the end, you will be on your way to great success. So never hesitate to start doing what you have to do in the pursuit of perfection. Don't be afraid to fail. Be brave and try. In the midst of that failure, I hope you will grow and move forward. All I need is the strength and courage to overcome failure and stand up again. Always remember that the salvation that makes success is setback in failure. Past generations taught young people that both success and failure are part of life, and the growing generation used to read books and get practical advice. But these days, they keep trying to look after the young. They teach you the wrong real world, but they don't show you the right way to live. The Grammar of Success is a guide to life that helps you live in the real world. This book teaches you about 50 grammar of success in an easy and prickly way. To the young generation who grew up like a flower in a greenhouse, the real world is like this. The 50 grammar of success acts as a vaccine to overcome difficulties and move on. Do you want to face the world and become a victor who is not afraid of society? Or do you want to be a loser who entrusts your life to others and gets dragged along complaining and complaining? The choices you make today will shape your life. And if you decide to be a winner in life, above all else, you have to do your best. I hope that grammar will be a great motivator for your success.